What's the worst first date I've ever been on? I'm so glad you asked. I'm going to tell you right now. Before I met my smoke show of a husband, I was on dating apps, as you do. This man messages me out of the blue and he goes, "I like your face. Let's go get some food." I love food. Are you my soulmate? He says, "Meet me at my house. I will drive us to the restaurant together." Why did we not just meet there? I have no idea. I drive 45 minutes to his house. He's standing outside of it. He walks up to my car and he goes, "I've lost my keys. Can you drive us there?" Should I have just left him right there and gone home? Yes. Did I? Absolutely not. He gets in, starts giving me turn-by-turn directions. He could have been leading me to an abandoned warehouse and I still would have been like, left at this stop sign? Okay. We end up at a Taco Bell, which is fine. I'm like, dine in or drive through? And he's like, drive through. And I'm like, great, he has a plan. We get to the speaker and he just leans over and goes, "I would like 100 hard-shell tacos, thank you." We get to the window. He does one of these numbers. I'm like, "Did you forget your wallet?" And he's like, "Yeah." I was like, "Do you need me to pay?" He's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Yeah." I buy the 100 tacos and I'm like, "Where to next?" And he goes, "Back to my house." And I was like, okay, this is happening. I'm committed to this now. It's happening. We get to his house, we walk in, his dad is on the couch. I'm like, he lives with his dad, it's fine. The hoops I am teleporting through to convince myself that this decision that I have made is okay is just wild. Walk past his dad into the kitchen. He just starts emptying the boxes of tacos, just releasing them onto the table. Puts 2 chairs at the table, sits down, and he just screams at the top of his lungs, "Let's feast!" I am just calmly unwrapping my taco and taking a bite of it. We are eating hard-shell tacos in complete silence. You can hear both of us chewing. It's absolute chaos. The dad walks up, grabs a taco. There's 100 of them. We have so many to spare. He's eating over us, just like standing, doesn't sit, stands right next to the table, crunches, mouth full. He just looks at me and he goes, "Do you want to see my studio?" And I was like, I have never wanted to see anything less in my entire life. It was that moment that I decided this date was completely over, or else I was going to be killed, 100%. I am now just like collecting the tacos because I paid for them. I walk out with boxes of tacos in my purse. I look back and I was like, "Thank you for this experience. You will never hear from me again."
All right, you asked for it. This is the story of the essay that made me a writer. When I was growing up, my teachers would always tell me, "Kyle, you're a really talented writer." And I would always say, "Thanks, but I don't really like writing." Like one time in middle school, one of my teachers took an essay that I'd written, sent it off to an essay contest without telling me, and then came back and was like, "Kyle, you won this contest." And I was like, "Please don't ever do that again." Fast forward to my senior year, and I get in trouble for being rowdy in the lunchroom with one of my friends. And my vice principal calls me to her office, and she's like, "Kyle, you're the student body president." That's a whole other story. She's like, "You're setting a bad example. I want you to write a 1-page essay on why what you did was a bad idea." And I want it on my desk by the end of the day. And I was feeling sassy, and I was like, "Lady, I'll give you 2 pages and I'll have it on your desk by the end of the hour." And she was just like, "Okay." And I immediately was like, well, that was a stupid thing to say. So I go to my next class and I'm furiously writing this essay by longhand because I'm old and we didn't have computers in all our classes. And I promise this is all going to connect in the end, but when I was 4 years old, I was kicked in the head by a horse. And I know some of you are already like, your videos are making a lot more sense now. So anyways, instead of writing about what happened in the lunchroom, I wrote about how when I was a kid, I was kicked in the head by a horse. And as a result, I cannot be held responsible for any of my actions. I wrote one small section about what had happened in the lunchroom, and it just said, "For instance, earlier today, this thing happened, and I did not want to do that, but my brain made me do it anyways." I wanted to end it on a suspenseful note, so the last sentence of the essay was, "When will my horse-ravaged brain strike again? The world may never know." So I turned in this essay fully expecting her to reject it and say, "Go rewrite this." But instead, she stands there reading it, and as she reads it, she starts to laugh. And the more she reads, the harder she laughs. By the end of the first page, she's got like a solid belly laugh going, and by the end of the essay, I'm not joking, she was wiping tears away. She's laughing so hard she's crying. She finishes up, and she kind of folds the page back over, and she stands there like, you can tell she's kind of wrestling with what to do next. But eventually she looks at me and she goes, "Okay, Kyle, this will do fine." And I was like, "Wait, what?" She goes, "Before you go, Kyle, have you ever thought about becoming a writer before?" And I just said the same thing I'd always said, which was like, "Yeah, I don't really like writing." And she holds up the essay and goes, "You didn't like writing this?" I said, actually, I loved writing that, but that's not writing." And she was like, well, this is paper and these are words. What do you think this is? And I realized in that moment that I'd always thought of writing as one thing, which was essay writing. And I hated essay writing. I hated it when a teacher would say, give me 10 pages about the Civil War. I was like, Google it, lady. I wasn't there. But in the office that day, I realized I genuinely like writing when I get to decide what to write about. And that one moment set me on the path to do pretty much everything that I do today. And I think about that a lot, that in that moment, that vice principal had a choice to make. Like, she could, quote unquote, teach me a lesson, or she could, like, actually teach me a lesson. And I am so glad that she chose the latter.
When I was younger, I was in Walmart and I was eating a tube of Pringles and I ate them while my mom paid, but I forgot to let the guy scan them, so I walked out the Walmart and the alarm went off and I just started running because I got scared and my mom couldn't find me because I was hiding behind the newspaper things in a Walmart. People called the police because I was missing, and when I hear them show up, I thought I was a criminal, so I left my mom a note on the newspaper that said I went to Mexico to start a new life and not come looking for me, and then I took off running with my Pringles and ran for like an hour, and then the cops saw me walking down the road, so they pulled over, so I started running again, and then they were using the car intercom thing and they told me to stop running. So when I did, I thought they were gonna put me in handcuffs and take me to jail, so I was crying and I slapped the officer in the stomach and tried to run again, but he just held me back, and when he asked me what happened to me and I told him, he started crying because he was laughing so hard. And he just gave my mom $2 for the Pringles and he was still laughing when he left. And that's the time I was a wanted criminal.
I told my husband to just go along with whatever I say.
Hello, thank you so much for this opportunity. This is for my scholarship application for Favor Leadership College 2021. I believe that I deserve this scholarship because I'm really hardworking. I'm a full-time mom and I have two full-time jobs actually, so that my husband can stay home with the baby because that's what he's asked. And also, this is really hard to talk about, but we had an accident in our family recently. We got a small poodle named Roman who we thought would be harmless, and he turned out to be feral. Sorry. And he attacked my husband's feet. And since then, my husband can no longer walk, and he has no feet. Babe, why don't you show them? He laughs. I'm sorry. He laughs to hide the. It's okay. Thank you for considering.
Before you guys start asking questions, yes, it is 90 degrees in Texas, and yes, I am wearing a sweater. Why? Because I'm 26 years old and I can do whatever I want. Also, sweaters make me happy. Anyways, now that that's out of the way, I can tell my story. 2 weeks ago, I came down to my car, I get in, I go to close the door, and I feel a little prick in my leg. And I'm like, well, that's weird, but it's probably just fiberglass. My roommate works at a fiberglass plant. And immediately that thing starts burning like the dickens, and I'm like, what in the Sam hell? I lean back, sure enough, there's a scorpion crawling up my shirt. I did exactly what you would expect me to do. I freaked out. I jump out of my car, I give it the good 1-2 flickaroo. That thing goes flying off. I grab my pant leg, I pull it off, and I start jumping around looking nuttier than a squirrel turd. And I'm freaking out. And I'm not about to call the ambulance, but I am convinced that I'm going to die and that thing's poisonous. But I'm not calling the ambulance because, one, those things are super expensive, and two, I'm convinced that they're just going to take me to a warehouse and sell my organs. So what do? I call my work mom. Some people have a work husband, work wife. I got a work mom. I call and I'm screaming obscenities I would not even say to Satan. And she's like, Kate, what is wrong? And I'm like, I'm dying. It got me. She's like, what's wrong? And I said, the scorpion, it stung me. She said, Kate, it's okay. What color was it? And I'm like, I don't freaking know. So I go over and I look at it, see if it's still there. It's still there, just waiting to crawl back up my leg and sting me again. So what did I do? I stomp on that sucker, and I'm stomping and I'm cussing and I'm stomping and I'm cussing. She's like, hey, what color is the damn thing? And I said, oh yeah, it's brown. She said, you're gonna be fine. It's poisonous, but it's not gonna kill you. It's just gonna burn for a little bit and then probably itch for a few days. So once I finally calmed down, I got in my car and I went to Dr. Google and I asked. Sure enough, she was right. I'm gonna be fine. I'm not gonna die. I know that now. And I also now know that 1 gram of scorpion venom is worth $8,000. So if in a few years you see me on the news because I was stung to death by 1,000 scorpions, it's because I thought that would be a lucrative business and I tried raising scorpions. Bad idea. Anyways, I'm only telling the story because I'm still mad because I got a mark on my leg about that big, nice and red, and it itches all the time. 2 weeks later. Anyway, stay away from the wildlife.
Texting random numbers! Hey, can we talk? I know it's been a while, but I miss you. Is this Jake? Yes. Oh, Nat told me you got a new number, but I was too nervous to ask her for it. How have you been? I'm okay, just thinking about what I've done, and I really regret it. Aren't you still dating her, though? Yes, I love her. I'm sorry. If you're dating her, I can't continue this conversation. You really broke my sister's heart by leaving her for my mom? Oh, God. I didn't want to be your sister's boyfriend anymore. I want to be her daddy. You're sick, Jake. You ruined my family. Nat and I haven't been able to see our mother in a year because of you. Did you text me just to start more shirts? No, I don't want to start any shirts. I'd rather start some pants. Oh, you're so funny, making fun of a typo I made. You still haven't changed. You're just as immature as you were last year. And you still don't have a sense of humor. Why can't we all just be a happy family together? Dude, you are my best friend. You dated my sister just to get closer to my mom. We will never be a family. But I'm gonna be your dad one day. I will never, ever, ever call you dad. That's okay. You can call me daddy instead. Are you flirting with me? Yes, it seems like I have a weird attraction to your whole family. Okay, this has been fun, but I'm just joking. I don't even know anyone named Jake. Thanks for entertaining me while I'm bored at work. It's no problem. I'm glad that no one dated your sister and left her for your mom. Oh no, that actually happened recently. My ex-best friend's name is Hayden. So Hayden is your new daddy? You're a shirt starter, lol.